Sometimes letting go is the hardest thing we have to do, not just of people, but of old habits, of beliefs that keep us small, of mistakes that haunt us. We hold on to things that hurt us, toxic relationships, self-doubt, old regrets. We carry them like heavy weights, letting them hold us back from who we could be. Forgiving yourself isn't easy for the wrong choices, for trusting the wrong people, for the times you knew better but did it anyway. But without forgiveness, you stay stuck in old stories. Every moment you spend looking back at what went wrong is a moment you miss seeing what could go right. Let yourself be free from the guilt that weighs you down, from the should-haves that keep you stuck, from everything that's too heavy for your heart to carry anymore. Your past shaped you, but it doesn't have to define you. It's time to let go, time to breathe deeper, time to move forward, time to take all that baggage, the doubts, the fears, the regrets, and leave it at the gate like an overstuffed suitcase that no longer fits in the overhead compartment of your life. You can't fly high when you're dragging the weight of things you should have let go of years ago. It's time to drop it, not gently, but with the force of someone who's finally had enough. Let it hit the ground and shatter into irrelevance, because here's the truth. The more space you make by letting go of what no longer serves you, the more room you have to invite in what does. Letting go is not an act of weakness. Oh no, it's a battle cry. It's you saying, I am done being shackled to things that do not nourish my soul. It's an unapologetic refusal to let yesterday's storms cloud today's sunshine. You can't move forward while clinging to anchors, no matter how familiar they feel. And yes, familiarity can be deceptively comforting. It whispers, stay here. At least you know how this feels. But what's familiar isn't always safe, and what's safe isn't always where you grow. So let's talk about growth, the messy, uncomfortable, exhilarating process of it. Growth isn't polite or tidy. It doesn't knock softly and ask if you're ready. It barges in, flips the lights on, and points to the parts of your life that need to change. Growth demands action, and action means risk. It means stepping out of your comfort zone, away from the safety nets of what ifs and I'm not ready yet. Because here's a plot twist for you. You're never fully ready, and you don't need to be. Readiness is a myth people use to stay still. You don't need readiness, you need courage. And courage? Courage is a muscle you build by using it. Every time you choose to let go of something that's been holding you back, you're lifting a heavier emotional weight. Every time you say no to self-doubt and yes to possibility, you're flexing your resilience. And let me tell you, a resilient heart is a force to be reckoned with. It bounces back stronger, louder, and more determined every single time it's tested. But let's not sugarcoat it. Letting go will test you. It will feel like peeling off armor you've worn for so long you forgot it was there. Vulnerability will sneak in, whispering, "Are you sure you can handle this?" And to that, you must roar back, "Watch me." Because here's the thing about vulnerability. It's not a weakness. It's proof of your bravery. It's stepping out into the unknown and daring to believe in yourself. Letting go isn't about forgetting what happened. It's about choosing not to live there anymore. Think of it like this. Your past is a place you visited, not the place you're meant to settle down. You were never meant to build a home in regret or pitch a tent in fear. You're meant to journey forward, to chart new territories, to discover landscapes of joy, purpose, and fulfillment. And let me remind you, the road ahead isn't paved with perfection. It's got potholes, detours, and the occasional traffic jam of doubt. But it's also lined with possibility, wildflowers of hope growing where you least expect them, and the breathtaking views that come when you dare to climb higher. So stop looking at the closed doors behind you and start noticing the open windows ahead. They're everywhere if you're willing to see them. And when you step through those windows, don't tiptoe, leap. Leap with the conviction that you're worthy of what's waiting on the other side. Leap like you've got wings you forgot how to use. Because you do. They've been there all along, waiting for you to let go of the weight holding you down. And when you stumble, and you will, because stumbling is part of the process, don't let it convince you to turn back. Laugh at the stumble, learn from it, and keep going. Every misstep is just another chapter in your success story. Every fall is proof that you're moving, that you're trying, that you're alive. Remember this, you are not the mistakes you've made. You are the lessons you've learned. You are not the things you've lost. You are the strength you've gained from losing them, and you are not the person who stayed stuck. You are the person who decided to rise. So rise. Rise like a phoenix from the ashes of old doubts. Rise like the sun that refuses to be overshadowed. Rise like someone who finally understands that the best is yet to come, but only if you dare to chase it. This is your time, not yesterday, not tomorrow, now. And now is the perfect time to let go, to breathe deeper, and to step into the greatness that's been waiting for you all along. You've been carrying the weight of 1,000 what-ifs, haven't you? Dragging them behind you like clinking chains, their metallic echoes reminding you of every opportunity missed, every mistake made, every moment you wish you could rewrite. But listen closely. The weight you're carrying is not a badge of honor. It's not proof of your strength. True strength doesn't come from dragging the past along like a stubborn shadow. It comes from knowing when to put it down and walk away. Head high, shoulders back, and heart open to what lies ahead. And oh, what lies ahead for you. A future so bright it could make the stars jealous. But here's the catch. You have to stop looking over your shoulder to see it. You can't walk into the light while staring into the darkness. It's time to lift your eyes, fix your gaze forward, and move. Not with hesitation, but with the kind of wild, reckless confidence that turns doubters into believers. Because here's a secret. Your potential is limitless. That's right, limitless. Every time you think you've reached the edge of what you're capable of, you'll find that the edge is just an illusion, a mirage created by fear. Step closer and you'll see it vanish. Push farther and you'll realize the only limits that exist are the ones you've allowed to settle in your mind. Now, let's talk about fear. Oh, fear is clever, isn't it? It knows how to dress itself up as practicality, disguise itself as caution, whisper in your ear that maybe you're not ready, or worse, that you're not worthy. But fear is a liar. A loud one, sure, but a liar nonetheless. The louder it gets, the more you know you're onto something big. Fear doesn't show up for small dreams. It shows up when you're standing on the edge of transformation. And what do you do when fear shows up? You invite it to watch. Let it sit in the corner while you take center stage. Let it witness your courage, your audacity, your refusal to be held back. Because here's the thing about fear. It has no real power. It only grows when you give it attention. Starve it by taking action and watch it shrink into insignificance. Action, that's the magic word. You can dream all you want, plan every detail, visualize every outcome, but none of it matters unless you act. Action turns daydreams into milestones, plans into progress, and someday into today. Action doesn't have to be perfect. In fact, it rarely is. But perfection is a myth that's fooled too many people into staying stuck. Forget perfect. Choose progress. Take one small step today, even if it feels insignificant. Send that email, make that call, write that first messy draft. Because here's the beautiful thing about momentum. It doesn't care how small your first step is. It only cares that you're moving. And once you start moving, you'll realize that the hardest part wasn't the step itself. It was convincing yourself to take it. And let's not underestimate the power of self-belief here. Your inner critic might be loud, but it's not the voice of truth. It's the voice of insecurity, of doubt, of every negative thing you've absorbed over the years. It's a voice that doesn't deserve your time, your energy, or your trust. Instead, listen to the quieter voice, the one that whispers, "You can." It's softer, sure, but it's the one worth amplifying. Start amplifying it now. Tell yourself, "I can." Not once, not twice, but over and over until it becomes a roar. Say it in the mirror. Say it when you're tired. Say it when you don't believe it. Because repetition builds belief, and belief builds reality. Reality is where the magic happens, by the way. It's where you take the dream you've been nurturing in the quiet corners of your mind and set it loose in the world. It's where you stop waiting for permission and start claiming your place. And make no mistake, you belong here, in this moment, in this world, chasing this dream. But here's the kicker. No one's coming to save you. No magical fairy godmother, no miraculous sign, no perfectly timed rescue. And that's a good thing, because the hero you've been waiting for, it's you. Yes, you. You have everything you need to rewrite your story, to choose a new ending, to step into the kind of life that leaves you breathless with gratitude. So be the hero. Be the one who rises after every fall, who turns every setback into a setup for a comeback, who refuses to let circumstances dictate their destiny. Be the person who looks fear in the face and says, "You're not the boss of me." Be the person who wakes up every morning and decides, yes, decides, to keep going, to keep trying, to keep believing. And when it gets hard, and it will, remember this: you've survived 100% of your worst days so far. Every heartbreak, every failure, every time you thought you couldn't go on, you made it through. You are here, stronger, wiser, and more resilient than you realize. Resilience is your superpower, by the way. It's the thing that keeps you standing when the world feels like it's crumbling. It's the fire in your soul that refuses to be extinguished, no matter how strong the winds of doubt may blow. So fan that fire, feed it with hope, with courage, with relentless determination. Let it burn so brightly that it lights the way, not just for you, but for others who need to see what's possible. Because make no mistake, you're not just changing your life, you're setting an example. You're proving to the world that transformation is possible, that it's never too late to start over, that greatness is within reach for anyone brave enough to pursue it. And if you ever doubt that, look back. Not to stay stuck in the past, but to see how far you've already come. Look at the obstacles you've overcome, the battles you've fought, the moments you've conquered. Let them remind you of your strength, your grit, your ability to rise. Then turn back to the road ahead, because that's where your story continues. That's where the best chapters are waiting to be written. That's where you become everything you were always meant to be. Picture this: a blank page stretched out before you, crisp and unspoiled, waiting for your pen to touch it. The ink, my friend, is your courage, your choices, and your unshakable belief that you are capable of more than you've ever dared to dream. The story isn't over, it's just getting good. The plot twists are yours to create. And the ending? That's a masterpiece you'll write when you decide to embrace the life that's been calling your name all along. But let's be honest, it's not always easy to look ahead, is it? The past clings like a stubborn stain, whispering reminders of every failure, every stumble, every time you fell short. It's tempting to stay there, isn't it? To replay the same tired scenes, hoping this time they'll end differently. But they won't, because the past is static, unchanging, a museum of moments that no longer serve you, no matter how many times you wander its halls. So, why linger? Why spend your precious energy polishing the relics of regret when you could be building monuments to your future? Every moment you invest in looking back is a moment stolen from what lies ahead. It's time to break free from the gravitational pull of yesterday and hurl yourself forward with the kind of momentum that defies expectation. And let's talk about expectation. You know, those invisible bars set by society, by other people, even by yourself. Expectations can be prisons, locking you into roles you've outgrown and keeping you tethered to standards that no longer align with who you're becoming. But here's the thing, the key has always been in your hand. You don't have to meet anyone's expectations but your own. And even those, feel free to smash them if they're keeping you small. Growth isn't about playing by the rules. It's about rewriting them. It's about saying, "Thanks for the advice, world, but I think I'll chart my own course." It's about stepping off the well-worn path and forging your own, even if it means stumbling through the underbrush for a while. Because let me tell you, the view from the top of a mountain you climbed your way is far more rewarding than the one you reached by following someone else's map. But let's not sugarcoat it. This road ahead isn't smooth. It's rocky, unpredictable, and at times downright infuriating. You'll face moments that test your patience, your resolve, your belief in yourself. You'll fall. You'll get scraped up, you'll question why you even started in the first place, and that's when you'll discover just how strong you are, because every fall is a chance to rise, every scrape is proof that you're moving, every doubt is an opportunity to prove yourself wrong, and when you rise, and you will rise, you'll carry with you a strength forged in the fires of persistence, resilience, and unrelenting determination. The road ahead isn't meant to be easy. It's meant to be transformative. Easy roads don't teach you anything. They don't challenge you, mold you, or push you to become more. It's the struggle that sharpens your edges, that polishes you into the version of yourself who can stand tall and say, "I earned this." And don't you dare think for a second that you're walking this road alone. Look around. There are others on this journey too, fighting their battles, chasing their dreams, finding their way. Their roads might look different from yours, but their determination burns just as brightly. Don't compare your path to theirs. Instead, draw inspiration from their courage, their grit, their refusal to give up. And when you cross paths with someone who's struggling, reach out, lend a hand, because the beauty of this journey isn't just in reaching your destination, it's in lifting others as you rise. Now, let's talk about those dreams of yours. Yes, those dreams, the ones you've been tucking away, convincing yourself they're too big, too bold, too unrealistic, the ones that light a fire in your soul but scare you half to death. It's time to take them out of hiding, dust them off, hold them up to the light and say, why not me? Because here's the truth. Every great achievement started as an idea that someone dared to believe in. Every groundbreaking invention, every awe-inspiring work of art, every act of courage that changed the world, they all began with someone saying, what if? So go ahead, ask yourself, what if? What if you stopped doubting and started doing? What if you stopped waiting for the perfect moment and created it instead? What if you gave yourself permission to fail, to learn, to grow, to try again? What if you decided right here and now that your dreams are worth the risk? Because they are. And don't let anyone tell you otherwise. Not the doubters, not the critics, not even that nagging voice in your head that insists you're not enough. You are enough. You've always been enough, and you have everything you need to take the next step and the step after that and the one after that. But here's the kicker, you have to start right now. Not when you feel ready, because that day may never come. Not when everything falls into place, because life rarely works that way. Start where you are with what you have and let the pieces fall into place as you go. And don't be afraid of failure. Failure isn't the opposite of success. It's a vital part of the process. Every misstep, every setback, every no is just another rung on the ladder to greatness. Failure isn't a dead end. It's a detour, a lesson, a stepping stone. And you're a climber. You don't stop at the first obstacle. You don't turn back when the path gets steep. You keep going because you know that every step forward, no matter how small, is a step closer to the life you're meant to live. So take that first step, leap if you have to, run if you can, crawl if you must, but keep moving, keep pushing, keep believing, because the road ahead is calling your name and it's time to answer. Your story continues now. The best is yet to come. Write it boldly, write it beautifully, write it in a way that makes you proud to say, this is my life. And when you look back someday, let it be with a smile, knowing you lived it fully, fiercely, and unapologetically. Because what's the alternative? To live timidly, cautiously, carefully, to wrap yourself in a bubble of comfort and safety, avoiding risk, avoiding growth, avoiding life itself? No, that's not for you. You weren't made for mediocrity or for tiptoeing through your days. You were made for more, for greatness, for purpose. And here's the thing about purpose. It's not always clear. It's not handed to you on a silver platter with a tidy little bow. It's discovered, unearthed, dug out from beneath the layers of fear and self-doubt. It's found in the trying, in the failing, in the messy, magnificent process of becoming. So don't wait for purpose to announce itself. Chase it. Pursue it with the wild, relentless energy of someone who refuses to settle. Purpose doesn't show up for those who stand still. It reveals itself to those who dare to move, to explore, to risk. And yes, risk is part of the equation. There's no escaping it. To live a meaningful life is to risk failure, rejection, disappointment. But what's the alternative? To stay small, to avoid the sting of failure by never trying at all? That's not living. That's merely existing. And you were meant to live. Living means putting yourself out there. It means taking the leap, even when the net isn't visible. It means trusting that you'll either land on solid ground or learn to fly on the way down. It means giving yourself permission to dream bigger than you ever thought possible, and then daring to chase those dreams with everything you've got. Because here's the truth. The world needs your dreams. It needs your ideas, your voice, your vision. It needs the unique magic that only you can bring. Think about it. There's no one else on this planet who has your combination of experiences, talents, and perspectives. No one else who can do what you do in the way that only you can do it. So stop shrinking, stop hiding, stop playing small to make others comfortable or to avoid the discomfort of failure. You weren't put here to blend in, you were put here to stand out, to shine, to make waves. But let's not romanticize the journey. It's not all sunshine and smooth sailing. There will be storms, there will be moments when you feel lost, when the path ahead is shrouded in fog and uncertainty. There will be setbacks, heartbreaks, and days when it feels like the universe itself is conspiring against you. And those are the moments that will define you, not because of what happens, but because of how you choose to respond. When the storms come, will you cower, or will you stand tall and face them head on? Will you let the waves knock you down, or will you learn to ride them? Will you let the darkness convince you to give up, or will you keep moving, keep pushing, keep believing in the light waiting just beyond the horizon? Because here's the thing about storms, they don't last forever. No matter how fierce, how relentless, how overwhelming they may feel, they always pass. And when they do, they leave behind a sky that's clearer, air that's fresher, and a version of you that's stronger, wiser, and more resilient than ever before. So when the storms come, and they will, remember this: you've survived every storm you faced so far, every setback, every heartbreak, every disappointment. You've made it through them all. You're still here, standing, breathing, fighting, and that means you can face whatever comes next. And what comes next, that's entirely up to you. You see, your future isn't set in stone. It's not a pre-written script or a predetermined path. It's a canvas, blank, and waiting for you to paint it with the colors of your dreams, your choices, your actions. So paint boldly. Don't be afraid to use bright, daring colors. Don't be afraid to make mistakes, to experiment, to start over if you don't like the way it's turning out. This is your masterpiece, and there are no rules, no limits, no expectations you have to meet except your own. And let me tell you something about mistakes. They're not failures. They're stepping stones. Every wrong turn, every misstep, every moment you wish you could redo, it's all part of the process. Mistakes don't define you, they refine you. They teach you, shape you, and prepare you for what's next. So don't fear mistakes, embrace them, learn from them, and most importantly, don't let them stop you. Keep going, keep trying, keep believing that the best is yet to come, because it is. The best is waiting for you, just beyond the horizon. It's in the opportunities you haven't discovered yet, the relationships you haven't built yet, the dreams you haven't dared to dream yet. It's in the version of yourself you're becoming, the version who is braver, stronger, and more unstoppable than you ever imagined. So take that next step, and the one after that, and the one after that. Keep moving forward, even when it's hard, even when it's scary, even when it feels like you're not making progress, because every step, no matter how small, brings you closer to the life you're meant to live. And remember, the journey is just as important as the destination. Don't rush through it. Don't get so focused on where you're going that you forget to appreciate where you are. Celebrate the small victories. Savor the moments of joy, of connection, of growth. Take time to reflect on how far you've come and let that fuel your determination to keep going. Because this is your life, your one wild, precious life, and it's happening right now. So live it fully, fiercely, unapologetically. Write your story with courage, with passion, with a belief that you are capable of greatness. And when the final chapter is written, let it be one you're proud of. A story of resilience, of bravery, of a life lived with no regrets. This is your time, your moment, your journey. Take it and make it extraordinary.